out here.
General call. Oh, let's see who's got.
Well, it wasn't Josh Angulo. He sheeted out miles before anybody else. And the
maybe Rutkowski, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rutkowski was there.
I was going to say the Black Point 7, and it is Rutkowski, the other man on that picture that I posted on Twitter not long ago. He is the man that is over the line early, so he'll have to be coming back to the beach, and he'll play no further part in this Elimination 5. So Josh Angulo, that'll help him. You know,
I think so,
another guy out the mix.
Because you get maybe like Peter Volvat and Fina Maynard and then Josh Angulo. You should be the top 3. And then maybe Jordi Bonk is going really fast as well in this competition.
So Jordi Bonk could have, challenged into that. Tom Malena, Chris Presta. Yeah. It's not an easy heat for Josh Angulo. He can't afford to not be there at the first mark.
No,
so he needs to push the start, but he obviously cannot afford to go over. He's got that PMS which he got in the quarterfinal stage, which is a 30.5. So that is hanging over his head at the moment, and he's leading this competition with 2 first and a second place. So in a great position, but also in a kind of very tricky position.
Yes, he can't risk. I mean, you think that most people are going to go and try to go as early as possible, and if they get another early like Rutkowski did now, nothing's going to happen to them much. But if Angulo does it, then it's going to be pretty heavy.
Okay, I think we sorted the mic. It says people saying it sounds like it's rubbing against something.
Maybe it was me.
Okay, so hopefully we've sorted the mic out now. Maybe you can let us know. If it hasn't, it's going to be from now on. If it's fixed from now on, we know the problem. But we'll wait and see. But Maciek Rutkowski from Poland is out. And he was starting to put a bit of a good run of form together, actually. He was getting a bit better. And that's a shame he's out in the first round, because that's a big result. It's like a 52.5 or something like that. It's a massive. He started to speed up a little bit. Okay, so just having a Cordell sitting in 23rd overall, so that'll keep him going. Larson moved right up to 21st. Started off the competition with a 52nd, then a 44th, and then a 6th and an 8th. So just totally different sides of the elimination for Larson. So obviously he got that together. Obviously the Danish slalom champion. We got Andrea Rizzotti in 20th, Casper Baumann in 19th, Pascal Tisselli 18th, Ben van der Steen all the way back in 17th. So he's not really having the best competition at the moment. Jimmy Daz 16th, Arnaud Degan 15th, Cedric Board 14th, Tati Franz 13th, and he's already was looking good in his first round, and he would have moved right back up there. But the problem is he sailed the wrong course, so he is out in the first round too, and he's going to have to count now a 36.5. So not a great result for Tati. Peter Vollwater 12th, we have Kestel 11th. He's coming back stronger, he's got better. Had a bad start to the event, but he had a 9th in the last elimination. Yakino's in that top 10. Kosin, as we've just seen, is in 9th. Buzinis 8th. Kostahovel 7th. Allen 6th. Allen's another one. He can't afford to mess up. He hasn't, but he can't afford. He's got a 52.5. So I think that's maybe a PMS in the first round as well. So Musulmani 5th. Menegatti 4th. Albo 3rd. Kentel 2nd. Angulo obviously winning it at the moment. But like I said, Kentel's sitting in a strong position. The worst result he's got is a 6th. Same as Antoine Albo. The worst position they've got is a 6th. Not a bad place to be after 4 eliminations. This is obviously Elimination 5. We're into the 4th heat. And our event leader, Josh Angulo, is in this heat. We've already lost Maciek Rutkowski to a PMS that we've just seen. Also in this heat, we've got Peter Vollwater, Finian Maynard, Jordi Bonk, Tom Malena, and Chris Pressler. So not an easy heat. All names that have been doing the tour for a long time. Jordi Bonk, probably the newest on that tour, and he was actually putting in some really good results. His best result, I think, was in the first elimination. I think Jordi Bonk got a 4th in that, so that was his first final he made. Yeah. So good results for Jordi Bonk. So we're coming up to start of this heat number 4. And we'll wait and see how it pans out. Say, if you want to get involved, get on Twitter, hashtag PWA World Tour. Okay, sounds pretty good. Apparently the sound now, we've fixed it. So here we go, lining up for the start. Josh Angulo, Peter Vollwater, Finian Maynard, Jordi Bonk, Tom Malena and Chris Pressler. You can see, I think, Vollwater and Maynard down the pin end. You've got Josh Angulo just up from them. On the Severn, that's Chris Pressler. Then we've got on the simmer, on the yellow simmer at the top, that's Tom Milena. We've also got Jordi Vonk on the loft. Seem to be crossing the line, going upwind nearly all the time. So it's definitely a different wind angle.
Another general recall.
Jordi Vonk must be looking over here. Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I did think that before. You can always tell. Oh!
That's a new one.
Oh my God. That is absolutely huge news. I didn't see that happening. I just didn't see that happening. Everybody is over the line apart from Tom Milena. I'm just waiting for confirmation of that. That is huge news. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so there we go. Exciting news, bad news for any Josh Angulo fans. Oh my God, I thought if anyone wouldn't be over, it would be Josh Angulo. But obviously everyone just pushing, and because of the wind angle, we're saying they need to move the pin closer to the first buoy. Give it a bit more pin end bias, because everyone otherwise pushes towards the boat, and it just creates general recalls basically. We used to happen in all sorts of racing, but it's very, very bad news for Josh Angulo. That is a 52.5. He will have to now count his 30th position. He obviously will still be in the running because he got a first, and a second, but he won't be in the running for first place. He's just going to be mid top 10. So really bad news for Josh Angulo and everyone out there supporting Josh. I know they would have been gunning and hoping Josh could win his first event, but it's not going to be Silt, I don't think, unless we get up to 7 races. And that is a possibility.
It is, I mean...
So we can't write him off just yet. You know, if we get to 7 races, we get 2 discards, and he can discard both the results if his other results are good. But this isn't the way he would have wanted to start this 5th elimination.
Well, if the wind's still like it is now, and we can complete the elimination, we still got 2 days that we can do maybe more. So.
Oh, we could definitely get it up to 7 eliminations. We only need to get 2 more in. We've got the weekend to go. We should probably get close, if not finish, this 5th elimination today. But that's big, big news. Josh Angulo out in the first round. Absolute disaster. But it's good news for Tom Milena. I tell you what, sometimes it's good to not be on the start line. And it's Tom Milena. His lucky day. He is in the next round. And not only is he in the next round, he's in the next round with only 5 competitors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's nobody else going through. So in this second quarter-final now, we're going to have Kusin, we're going to have Micah Buzainis, we're going to have Sebastian Cornum, and we're going to have Sebastian Cordell. We're going to have also Tom Milena. So 5 guys in it. Does make a huge difference to this quarter-final. So only one of those guys will miss out on a semi-final spot and a top 16 position. So that's how big a news it is. If it had been Josh Angulo in that position, he would have just been loving life. But it's not. Josh Angulo, as you can see, is making his way to the beach. So is Tom Milena, but one of them will have a smile on his face and one of them will definitely not.
Not at all. Oh, wow. I don't think I've seen that before in an event.
I actually have seen it before, but quite a while ago. It hasn't happened for a long time. Hasn't happened for a long time, but I didn't expect to see it this early on in the competition.
Especially with a big name, like with Angulo. I mean, think about all the things he's playing now being on the top. You would have thought he was going to take it a bit easier.
Oh, yeah, but I have to say, he probably looked at the heat and thought, wow, if you're not in it at the first mark, and I think the problem with why everyone was over is this wind's shifted. The freestylers were not complaining, but saying that's what was happening. If they got a header, they would end up halfway down the course area, and then the wind would shift back, and they wouldn't be able to get back. And I think on that start line, if you get lifted coming in on starboard, you end up doing a shorter course than what you would do. So your timing is all out.
Yeah, you could see how when everybody was sailing close to the body, it shifted to the right straight away.
Exactly. So the wind shifts to the right, so there's like effectively a lift, and makes that distance to that mark a lot, well, not a lot shorter, but a little bit shorter. When you're dealing in meters, you know, or less than meters, that's where the problems come out. So there we go. 7 guys out. Well, it actually wasn't 7 guys out, was it? Yeah, it was 7 guys, because no, we'd already lost Maciek Rakowski, so only 6. Not that it makes a massive amount of difference.
That is actually his caddy, no? I believe.
Ah, yeah, that's Peter Beale.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Peter Beale on his kit. That would make it. That would make sense. Well, he's got an easy job today, the caddy.
Yeah, that was nice.
Okay, so guys, what do you think of that? Twitter, hashtag PWA World Tour. Well, we've pretty much lost our event leader in the first round. And not only have we lost him, he's now having to count a 30.5. Not a great result. You don't want to be counting that. So he's going to have to hope they get to 7 eliminations and they can, in fact, get a second discard. But he's going to now need 2 more good results to get that discard. Not ideal for Josh Angulo, and he won't be a happy bunny. Oh, he's not going to be happy now. He's in the water. But I suppose that won't bother him too much. Are we going to see some emotion on Josh Angulo's face?
Can we have wind reading? Wind reading, please. Wind reading.
Well, not happy.
No, he's braving the temperature. He's got like a short sleeve.
Yeah, he's a man. He's a man. He's a man's man.
Well, he lives now in Boston, so I suppose...
This is probably like a tropical day for him, isn't it? I mean, this is like a spring day in Boston. Maybe the guy's out there, he's not happy, is he?
No.
Not happy at all. It's times like these you really want a camera on the line. He's smiling, actually. To be honest, I think he's almost seen the funny side of it. He's probably thinking, when was the last time 6 guys were over the line in one start line? Especially in the first round.
Well, at least we got 2 days, not everything is lost. We can remind you that after if we manage to do 7 eliminations, we got 2 discards, so he still got a chance.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to try and get a bit more water before I dry up. We are coming, obviously, we're going to miss that 4th elimination now. No point in sailing it. I think Tom Molina on his own would definitely qualify. We'd only have to go around the course. So we're going to leave that. Tom Molina will be in the next round, and it will be probably the smallest quarter-final we've ever seen with 5 guys in it. We're going to go straight to heat number 5 of this 5th elimination. Cyril Musselmani, Andrea Rizzati, Ben van der Steen, Benoit Musselmani, Tristan Algrez, Nicholas Prien, and Gunnar Asmussen. I tell you what, this is a very stacked first round heat. This is going to be interesting to see. Somebody down the bottom end, is that Gunnar Asmussen? Down?
Tristan.
Okay, so Tristan Algrez. He's quite a handy sailor, Tristan Algrez. And down the bottom end, it's Benoit Musselmani. He's just rolled Gunnar Asmussen, I think. Tristan Algrez right up the top end. Got Cyril Musselmani in this. Ben van der Steen in this on the Gastra. Everyone is still in this. But it looks like I think Benoit Musselmani might be first in, or Ben van der Steen.
Probably
I think it's Benoit Musselmani. Benoit Musselmani round in first. Then it's close between Gunnar Asmussen and Ben van der Steen. Then we got Cyril Musselmani. Then we got Tristan Algrez in 5th place. On the 0.7, we've got who have we got on the point? Andrea Rizzati. Yeah, Andrea Rizzati, obviously. And on the second north, we've got Prien. So this one, I tell you, like I said, this is going to be tough, this heat. Benoit Musselmani at the moment is in a very nice position, leading this one out, looking better in the stronger winds. Wasn't liking the lighter winds so much. There's a little bit of chop out there, and those boys are really fighting it out for that 4th place. Going to be interesting to see when they come around this second jibe mark where they're all sitting at the moment. Benoit Musselmani leading it. 2nd place, Ben van der Steen. Tristan Algrez is right up there. Cyril Musselmani right up there. But it's Benoit Musselmani rounding first. 2nd place is Ben van der Steen. 3rd place, Cyril Musselmani. Then we've got Tristan Algrez up into 4th place. Andrea Rizzati in 5th. Gunnar Asmussen in 6th, and he's gone down. Unfortunately went down. And then Prien just coming round now, I think, or it could be the other way around, but they're both Norths at the back of the pack at the moment, and they are not in the run-in to get into the next heat. They obviously need to be in the top 4, and at the moment, they're not in it. We've got Edson, who was watching the freestyle earlier, was tuned in, and he's not good news for Cape Verde, exactly. Josh Angulo is out, mate. PMS'd in the first round, so over the line. So it's Ben van der Steen now is in first place. Benoit Musulmani drop into second. Cyril Musulmani staying in third. And we've got Tristan Algrez in a nice 4th place. Then we've got Andrea Rizzati in 5th place. So he can challenge here. Andrea Rizzati is quite close behind Tristan Algrez, and it's going to come down to the last jibe mark. Tristan Algrez at the moment ahead and looking in control, but as we know, these jibe marks are tricky places, especially when the group really bunches up. Let's wait and see how this pans out as we come into this jibe mark. Like I say, Andrea Rizzati, an outside chance really to qualify in this heat, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so it's Ben van der Steen. Looks like he's going to win this, barring a disaster on this jibe mark. Second place is Benoit Musulmani, looking very solid in second. Third, Cyril Musulmani. Then we've got Tristan Algrez, and looking a very solid 4th, but not a great jibe from Tristan Algrez. Has he stopped? Or is that my eyes? I tell you what, Andrea Rizzati got a good jibe there, and I think he's going to challenge Tristan Algrez down this last reach. I think Tristan Algrez jibed into a little bit of a swell there and stopped. He's trying to take Andrea Rizzati right up to the top of the course. Okay, so here we go. We're just keeping an eye on that Andrea Rizzati, but it does look like Tristan Algrez will get that final 4th spot. So it was a good challenge from Rizzati, but it's not going to be enough. Ben van der Steen wins it. Benoit Musulmani second. 3rd place, Cyril Musulmani. And 4th place, Tristan Algrez. Andrea Rizzati missing out. Gunnar Asmussen missing out. And Nicholas Prien missing out. Next heat on the water. Julian Quintel, and we're already up. Julian Quintel, Board, Dunkerbeck, Russia, Fleschner, Tom Schliemann, and Drashner. Okay, so Malta, Russia on the 0.7 with a really good start. That's always good news for he's right down to port end by the looks of it. And there looks to be a real big tight battle in the middle of the pack. Bernd Flessner's in there. Dunkerbeck's in there. These two have had some big battles over the years. Bjorn Dunkerbeck and Bernd Flessner probably, I don't know, they've probably had the biggest duels out of everyone in the whole fleet. But it looks like Malta, Russia is going to lead this one round the first mark. Okay, Bjorn Dunkerbeck in second place. Looks to me like Bernd Flessner is in about 5th place at the moment and just missing out. Difficult to see between him and Julian Quintel, obviously. So Russia first. Dunkerbeck second. Cedric Board in third. Then we've got Bernd Flessner, so in a qualifying position at the moment. Bernd Flessner just ahead of Julian Quintel. Julian Quintel is second in this competition at the moment. So Bernd Flessner's got his work cut out with Julian Quintel right behind me. Julian Quintel always comes back in these fleets, and there's a fair bit of swell coming round the course. This is going to be tricky for the boys, and Cedric Board has dropped back a little bit. So we've got Russia round in first place. Bjorn Dunkerbeck in second. And then it looks like we've got Bernd Flessner and Julian Quintel for 3rd and 4th, and Cedric Board dropping back into 5th place. So Bernd Flessner at the moment in his sort of sign-off event here in Silt. He's retiring at the end of this event. He is in a qualifying position in this first round, and he's going to want to stay there. But he's getting good, big, hard competition from Cedric Board just behind him. Bjorn Dunkerbeck. Yeah, so Dunkerbeck didn't have a great jibe there, but he's still back on the board. So he has, in fact, slipped back a bit. Now he's getting challenged by Bernd Flessner right behind him. Julian Quintel maybe moved up into second place. But it's Russia round in first place, looking pretty comfortable at the front. In second place, I think now it's Julian Cantel. Then we've got Bjorn Dunkerbeck. Then we've got Bernd Flessner in fourth qualifying position. Then we've got Cedric Board. Oh, but Bernd Flessner has dropped off the plane. He's got Cedric Board right behind him. He's going to have to try and fight off the Frenchman all the way down this last couple of reaches. But Cedric Board has gone low. I'm not sure that's going to help Cedric. He's got a lot of dirty air, so that could help Bernd Flessner qualify through this first round. But out in the lead, Malta, Russia, absolutely killing it in the front, looking totally in control of this first round heat. Bjorn Dunkerbeck had a bit of a scare on the second to last jibe mark, but he's back up and running now and looking pretty comfortable. So Russia rounds the last jibe mark in a comfortable first place. Second place is Julian Cantel. Third place is Bjorn Dunkerbeck. Bernd Flessner is still in a qualifying position. He's got Cedric Board breathing down his neck, but Bernd Flessner looks like a nice jibe at the last mark, and barring a disaster, he will qualify through this first round place. He's still going to stay in fourth place. He's got Bjorn Dunkerbeck, like I said, just in front of him. Second place, Julian Cantel. But Malta, Russia, absolutely flying on that 0.7 sail right out in the front. The big black 0.7 you can see. He's going to cross the line in first place. Bjorn Dunkerbeck, quite an easy qualifying for him in third place. And then we've got Julian Cantel. I think he's got up to second place. Bernd Flessner, where is he? He's in fourth place. A good, solid qualifying for Bernd there. So Russia, Bjorn Dunkerbeck second, Julian Cantel and Bernd Flessner qualify for the quarterfinals of Elimination 5 here in Sylt for the GP Joule Windsurfing World Cup. And we're going to go straight back up to the next heat, which was going to be heat number 7. Casper Larsson, Anton Kestel, Pascal Tosselli, Enrique Marotti, Ethan Vestra, Danny Jakobsen, Christian Recke and Andrea Cookie. I'm pretty sure Andrea Cookie's not in this, but we'll wait and see. You never know. Maybe he'll be racing. Okay, so we're just coming up to the start. Casper Larsson was going well the other day, but he didn't have a good first couple of days, so it's going to be interesting to see how he handles a change of conditions today. Aruba 4 with the best start, so Ethan Vestra, 16th birthday yesterday, youngest guy in the fleet, and he's just pinged the start, so he's looking good out there. We've got one of the other 0.7 sails right up there. Obviously, Tosselli's going to be on 0.7 sail, and Marotti, both big guys. Expect to see them round that first mark. Just got Bernd Flessner, Dunkerbeck sailing in together. Like I said, they've done this before in the past. Okay, so round in first. It is on the 0.7 sail. Casper Larsson, maybe. So Casper Larsson. And we've got Tosselli. We've got someone gone down. Well, it looks like we have got someone go down. I'm not sure which 0.7 that was. Just trying to check who went down on that first mark, but it is one of the 0.7 boys. It's either Tosselli or Marotti. I'm just trying to make it clear for you guys at home. So Larsson out in the lead, so we're hearing. We know also on one of the other lofts will be Ethan Vestra. And at the moment, by my reckoning, he might be in a qualifying position here. So he had 2/5 in the last fourth elimination, or the last couple of eliminations. But we're hearing it's Larsson round in first. Second place, we're thinking it's Tosselli. We're not 100% sure, but it looks like Tosselli. Then we've got one of the loft guys, another loft guy, which should be Kestel and maybe Ethan Vestra. So Vestra is in a qualifying position at the moment. He did have the best start out of the boys. He's the youngest guy in the slalom fleet. I think he's the youngest guy in any of the fleets, actually. So if he makes a qualifying spot here, that will be pretty big news. And he will take out one of the other names. Marotti looking like it. He is the 5th place seed in this one. But it's Casper Larsson that's going round in first. Oh, Jakobsen. We've got Tosselli. We've got Kestel. And then we've got Vestra. They said that's Jakobsen. So Danny Jakobsen, is that 64 or Casper Larsen? I'm sure it's Casper Larsen as far as I can work out. I think they've got that wrong. I think it's Larsen at the front. We've got Torselli in second. In third place we've got Kestel. And in a really good qualifying spot, yeah, it is Larsen. Just hearing over the radio, it is Larsen. And we've got Ethan Vestra. Can he qualify out of this first round? That'll be a big result for him. And he's looking like he's going to do it. Looking kind of comfortable in fourth place. So Ethan Vestra, 16 years old. He was 16 yesterday. Looking like a lovely qualifying spot for him in fourth place, and he will go through to the quarterfinal stage. So out in front, Casper Larsen, he's found some speed from somewhere. He's put that first day behind him with his 2 bad results, and he is absolutely flying. Second place is Torselli. Third place is Kestel in a nice qualifying position, and Ethan Vestra is sitting in fourth place, and he will qualify for the next round. Just trying to see. My internet's gone down for some reason. Not quite sure why. Henry, can you just pass us that Ethernet cable? I think someone's chopped the wire on my internet, so I think we'll have to just have a quick smooch round at the moment. But at the moment, it is Casper Larsen that qualifies for the next round. Very comfortable, actually, looking really good in that one. Then we have Torselli in second place. Again, pretty comfortable. Third place, Kestel. And then Ethan Vestra qualifies in fourth place to the next round. Got to be happy with that. He got a good start, sailed a solid race, 16 years old, and he's in the quarterfinals, so that's no mean feat. So we go straight on to heat number 8 now, and we're just queuing straight up for the start. Menegatti, Baumann, Iachino, Chiani, Yilmeza, Diaz, Mortafon. How stacked is this first heat? Chiani just doesn't get the breaks, and he's not got a good start looking at that. Oh, maybe he has. It's a general recall, and that looked like a few of the boys. Italy 140, Matteo Iachino, not a good result for the Italian. He was doing pretty well overall. He was sitting in 10th place for this competition, but he is now out. So Iachino out with a PMS, and this is a stacked heat. I mean, look at the names here. Menegatti, Baumann, Iachino, Chiani, Yilmeza, Diaz, and Mortafon. How stacked is that heat? What does PMS stand for, Ben? It stands for premature start, Jeff. That's what it stands for. So any more questions on Twitter, I can answer them. Hashtag PWA World Tour, and we'll do our best to answer them. But we're going to resail heat number 8. And it's going to be Menegatti, Baumann, Iachino's now out, Chiani, Yilmeza, Diaz, Mortafon. Chiani's seen Larsen flying at the moment, and he's going to want to beat his fellow Danish riders, so no doubt we'll see Chiani turn it on today. So we're going to wait for the restart of that heat. Big shout out from Mario on Twitter, said a big shout to the 16-year-old kid, well done. Good girl, shout him out as well. So Ethan Vestra, a name to look out for. He's been winning a fair few slalom championships, from what I've heard, in his age discipline. We've got Irene Vestra on Twitter saying, Ethan, way to go. I'm guessing that's a relation. Mother, sister, auntie, nan? We got Luca saying, no, Matteo Iachino, PMS, exactly. That's what I think Iachino is thinking, Luca. So fair bit of chat on Twitter. If you want to get on there, it's hashtag PWA World Tour. Or get on Facebook. You can leave a comment under the last picture. Or you can leave it under the last picture I posted on my Facebook page. It could be on the PWA Facebook page. I'm just going to check, see if they've shared that picture. I hope they have. That would be very nice. Next heat on the water will be that restart of heat number 8. Obviously, it's elimination number 5. Let's have a look. Who has shared this picture? Okay, so the people who haven't shared it just yet, so you'll have to go to my Facebook page until that is signed in. But that's what we're dealing with at the moment. That's where we're standing. That's how things are lying. It's all going down. And if you have just joined us, you've missed one of the crazy moments of this 5th elimination of the whole competition, of maybe all the competition this year. We've had 7 guys PMS in one heat. So only one guy was still in it, and that heat was number 4, and guess who else was in that heat? Josh Angulo, the event leader, has been PMS'd in the first round. And not only is that bad news for Josh, it's double bad news, because now he's going to have to count a 30.5. It was hanging over him. He couldn't afford to mess up today, and he's pretty much messed up as much as he can. PMS in the first round, 52.5 points. He's now got a massive discard. So he's going to have to count that 30th point, and he's going to have to hope he gets 2 more good races, and they get to 7 where he gets a second discard. So Tom Molina, the only guy to qualify from that heat because he wasn't over the line. So he goes into the quarter-final number 2. So there's going to be Buzainis, Cordell, Cornum, Cussin, and Molina. That's it. Only 5 guys in it. So only one will go out in that quarter-final. So this will be a pretty good result for any of those boys, really. They're going to get an 18th or a top 16, and that's pretty much how it's looking. So we're still lining up at the moment for this start, the restart of heat number 8. Menengatti, Casper Baumann, Kiani, Yilmeza, Diaz, Mortafon. It's a pretty stacked heat. Going to be interesting to see, are they going to push the start again? We've seen a fair few over earlies. I think it's because the wind's shifting around. So when you do get that wind lifting a bit, it makes the line to the start a little bit shorter in a strange way. I don't know. Anyone who does maths out there, you'll work out angles. But if it heads, you have to sail quite a bit further. So that's why these boys are getting it wrong. Maybe the few shifts on the line are making it hard to judge it. So the boys are lining up right now. We can see Kiani down the bottom end on that yellow simmer. We can see Menengatti down the right, down the pin end on the black 0.7. We've got the we've got Pierre Mortafont on the north in the middle. We've got Diaz on the north in the middle. We've got Baumann on that Pride at the top end. And we've got Yilmeza down the bottom end. Oh, it's a good start maybe from Kiani. Yeah, so Kiani absolutely nailing the start down the pin end and rolled Menengatti. Menengatti had nothing to play with. He doesn't want to go over the line early, so he couldn't risk it. But Kiani, I think he's just going for it in this one. And the wind does look like it's picked up. He'll enjoy racing in this. He likes the windier stuff. He's been complaining it's been a bit light this year. So this will please him, a fair bit of breeze. But here comes Menengatti putting down the hammer. And he's rolled Kiani as he comes up into the boys, so showing some dominant speed. Menengatti round the first mark in first place. Second place, Kurosh Kiani. Then we've got Pierre Mortafont. Then we've got Baumann. Then we've got Yilmeza and Jimmy Diaz. So the boys at the front trying to get away from that jibe mark with a lot of speed. But it's Menengatti that got away quickly. Kiani looking good. They need to make sure they don't go the wrong way like Tati Franz when he was leading. But it looks like they've found the boy. I'm guessing it's the boy with the boat on it. That's, we're just looking for where these guys are heading to. Yeah, it is. Looks like it's all the way down there next to the boat. So Menengatti is probably going to land around this outside mark in first place. And there looks like a fair bit of breeze, some big gusts coming through the competition area, maybe picking up a little bit. And it looks like Kiani has lost out to Pierre Mortafont. So Mortafont up into second place. Oh, he's lost out a few places. He's back into fourth place now, Kiani. So Menengatti round in first. Pierre Mortafont is second. Then Baumann in third. Then Kurosh Kiani. And Jimmy Diaz and Yilmeza snapping at Kiani's heels. So Kiani's got his work cut out now, and he's got a couple of good guys right behind him. So he can't afford any more mistakes. This is the third jibe mark, as you can see on the right-hand side of your picture. Menengatti looking quite in control, I have to say. Kiani's sitting nicely in fourth, but like I said, he can't afford to relax. He's got Diaz and Yilmeza right behind him. We'll get a better idea of positions as they come round this next jibe mark, but it definitely will be Alberto Menengatti that rounds in first. Sitting in second place for the overall world standings at the moment, Pierre Mortafont. He's liking this wind. He's around in second. Third place, Baumann, then Kiani. But he had to... Oh, Kiani's gone down. Kiani has gone down on the third mark. And that will end his chances. Yilmeza and Diaz were right behind him, and he has lost out. So Kiani will not be advancing out of this first round heat. A pretty tough draw, I have to say, as first round heats go. But that's just the way it goes. So Kiani will not be getting into the quarterfinals. Menengatti will, though. barring a jibe like that one, he should be okay. So Menegatti looks pretty powered up. Big gust coming through the course area. Menegatti around the last jibe mark in first place. Comfortable jibe from him. Second place, Pierre Mortefont. Two quick guys at the front of this one. In third place now, all the way up into third place, it's Jules Meiser. Baumann slipping to fourth, and Baumann's gone down. So the two guys were in it the whole way around. Kiani and Baumann both going down before the last leg. And it will be Jimmy Diaz, who just kept clicking away, has plumped all the way up, and he's now sitting in a qualifying position. So Jimmy Diaz, he was looking so out of it, but he's in it now. He's in the next round. So Menegatti crossing the line in first place. Well, actually, it might even be Pierre Mortefont. Beyonce flying down this last reach, but Pierre Mortefont, Menegatti pretty much crossing the line together. Then we've got Jules Meiser in third, and Jimmy Diaz will be in fourth place. So you didn't, I didn't expect those results looking at the way they rounded the first mark. The positions are changing. It is choppy out there. Nothing is a foregone conclusion. Okay, up to heat number 9, quarterfinal number 1. Allen, Lagun, Langer, Costa-Hovel, Williams, Albo, Sylvain Musulmani and Ludovic Yossin. Oh, someone's early. No, they're not. They just got a good start. X12 with the best start. Ludovic Yossin always pushing the start, and we hear him name mentioned again. Does look like looks like Sylvain Musulmani with not the best start, and he's having to sail behind everyone. Ross Williams sort of in the middle of the pack challenging. We've got Albo looking pretty comfortable. Oh, Ludovic Yossin, is that Ludovic Yossin down the bottom end? His board just got picked up out of the water and came down. That will lose him a fair bit of ground. We'll wait and see when they call these guys round this first mark, but it looks like Albo rounding first. Then we've got Ross Williams up there. We've got one of the Saverns, so Steve Allen. Yeah. Antoine Albo, Steve Allen, Ross Williams, Le Guen in 5th place. So it's super close. This will all change when we go round the next buoy, no doubt. Very difficult. Costa-Hovel, we think, is up there on the loft sail. So the orange loft is Costa-Hovel. Yossin should be up there. We'll have to keep an eye on those loft sails. Obviously, Costa-Hovel needs to be up there for his overall rankings. Ross Williams needs to start getting his results better. He's not had a good competition so far. Okay, so rounding first, it's Antoine Albo. Then we've got Steve Allen. Then we've got Ross Williams. We think it's Costa-Hovel or Ludovic Yossin in 4th place. And then Le Guen in 5th, followed by the Saverne of Langer. So Langer in 6th place, the other German rider. I say the other German rider. There's a few German riders in this competition, and they're all going pretty good. Cordell's been going well. With more on him in the next heat, and more about his easy heat next heat. There's only 5 of them in it. But at the moment, Albo making easy work of this quarter-final. Looking very comfortable. Steve Allen also can't afford to mess up. He's not got a great discard, and he's been very consistent so far, so he knows he needs to make this. 3rd place is still Ross Williams, and then it's Ludovic Yossin or Costa-Hovel. And whoever it is, they've gone down at that jibe mark, and Le Guen is back. Okay, so it was Ludovic Yossin who went down. So Ludovic Yossin was in it. He just did a bad jibe and he is out of it. So Costa-Hovel out of it at the moment. That's not good news for Gons. He really needs to make it into that top 4 and get into the final 16. He's sitting in 7th place overall, and his worst result so far is a 26th. If he goes out now, he will be pretty much counting a 20th position. So he really needs to step it up. He's not got long to do it. The last jibe mark, Antoine Albo rounding first. 2nd place, Steve Allen. 3rd place, Ross Williams. Who's in 4th? It's the Gun, and a good jibe from the Gun. And here comes Costa-Hovel trying to make a challenge. I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to have to pass him on this jibe mark, and I don't think that was a great jibe from Gonzalo Costa-Hovel. So I think it's going to be the Gun, Damien Le Guen, we call him the gun, who will make it into the next round. He's getting challenged hard from behind from Costa Hovel, but I don't think he's just got enough room. Le Guen not really having the competition of his life. He's had a fair few PMS and all in the first round, so he's sitting quite far back, but he's a very quick sailor, and you'd expect him to make it through a few heats. I'll tell you what, though, this is really mixed it up. Le Guen getting up into second place, I think. Steve Allen dropping back. But I think it's going to be... What happened to Ross Williams? Something happened there? I'm not entirely sure. But the two Severns, Langer and Allen, looked like they got through. It looked like Le Guen and Yosin. What happened to Ross Williams? Was I looking at the wrong thing there? But the Gastra of Ross Williams obviously didn't do a good jibe. And he's sitting right back in the pack. Okay, an interesting quarter-final coming up. Only 5 guys in it. Buzainis, Cordell, Cornum, Cussin and Malena. So who is going to miss out? Tom Malena, obviously the only guy to get through from elimination number 4, from heat number 4. I'm just looking. So USA 34, Buzainis with the best start. Like I say, only 5 guys in this. We've got Sebastian Cordell. So Sebastian Cordell from Germany on the blue Gastra down the bottom end. We've got Micah Buzainis just up from him. Just up from him it's Sebastian Cornum. Then we've got Tom Malena, and then we've got Cussin. So these guys have got to keep it together. Only one guy will miss out. Sebastian Cordell is really low, and he's going to have to come up now, and he does. It's Buzainis round in first. Sebastian Cornum in second place. Then Cordell going round. We've got Cussin just behind him and Tom Malena in 5th place at the moment. So Tom Malena will be that guy missing out. But as we've seen in the other heats, it's definitely not all over at the end of this race. Big shifts going on. There's big bits of swell and chop. So tricky even just coming down some of the reaches. Plenty of speed. Just trying to have a look what's going on the Twitter sphere. We had Morton cheering for the K-Man before, obviously, which is Kuruskiani. And I think he might have not heard you as he went down at that jibe mark, so it didn't exactly go that well. Okay, who's running first? It's Micah Buzainis. Second place, Sebastian Cornum. Then Sebastian Cordell from Germany. Then we've got Cussin from France. And then Tom Malena from the Czech Republic. Okay, so it's looking a pretty easy race for these boys. Tom Malena, he'll be hoping that someone makes a mistake. Okay, so it's quite well, it's not, there's not much happening. It's just we've got to focus on Tom Malena in 5th place, and whether any of the other guys make a mistake. That is the only thing that can happen with only 5 guys in it. Let's have a look. It's Micah Buzainis is looking very solid at the front. I can't see him making a mistake. Second place, Sebastian Cornum, Formula champion. Then we've got Sebastian Cordell from Germany. Then we've got Cussin. Not super windy coming out of that jibe mark, so we might give a chance for Malena to catch up a little bit with a good jibe. And it was a pretty nice jibe from Malena, so maybe catching a bit of ground. We've got 1 jibe left to go. 2 more reaches for Tom Malena to spring into this top 4. Okay, so here we go. Is anything going to happen? Bit of swell coming through the course area. Nothing much happening. It's all going to happen at this jibe mark if it's going to happen. We saw something go wrong with Ross Williams. I didn't actually see what happened. As far as I knew, he was in a perfect qualifying position, but he just wasn't there at the end. So Micah Buzainis goes around in first. Second place, Sebastian Cornum. Third place, up to 3rd place, Cussin. Then we've got Sebastian Cordell dropping to 4th, but he's still in a good qualifying position. At the moment, it's Tom Malena missing out. He's going to finish 5th in this quarter-final. Won't be a bad result. I think it'll be like an 18.5 for finishing 5th here, so not a bad result, but he would have hoped to maybe been challenging for one of the top 4s. And we're already into the last minute of the next heat on the water. Man, Bernie Fleshner will be in that heat. Just going to try and refresh. So it does look to me that the results are going to stay pretty much the same as they have all the way through that. So we've got Buzainis winning it, Cousin in, Cornum in second, Cousins in third, and Cordell in fourth. Tom Molina just missing out. Okay, so in the next heat, pretty big heat. Van der Steen, Benoit Musulmani, Cyril Musulmani, Algrez, Russia, Kentel, Dunkerbeck and Flessner. This is a pretty big heat. No doubt Bernie Flessner will want to go out with a bang. This is his last event. Okay, Bernie Flessner with the best start. We're here in G16, first over the line. So he wants to make a good showing of it. He's got some old rivals in here. One of them obviously being Bjorn Dunkerbeck. Bjorn Dunkerbeck not having his best competition here, but he's still capable of putting in some good results, as is Bernie Flessner. So at the moment, we're hearing Bernie Flessner might be going around first. Well, who knows? We know he's quick, and after a good start, we'd expect him to be right up there on that first mark. So as they come into the first mark, who's it going to be? We've got Ben van der Steen fighting out. It's going to be Ben van der Steen rounding first. We think it's Bernd Flessner in second. Then we've got Dunkerbeck's in there. We've got Cyril Musulmani. We've got one of the lofts going down. Algrez. Yeah, that's what we called it. So it was Bernd Flessner in second place. Cyril Musulmani in third. Bjorn Dunkerbeck in fourth. Tristan Algrez went down. Toselli, Russia, not having his best one. And maybe Benoit Musulmani challenging as well. He looked to be up there. We'll get a better idea when they go around this second jibe mark. But it was Ben van der Steen leading it and Bernd Flessner in second place. Let's see if those places change as we come around the second jibe mark. Okay, round the second jibe mark, it's Ben van der Steen rounding first. Bernd Flessner still in second place, on his way into the semi-finals if he can stay in second. Then we've got Cyril Musulmani, then Bjorn Dunkerbeck. Then difficult to see who we've got actually. Who have we got there? Kentel maybe. Where has he been? So he's making a late charge. Second overall in the competition at the moment. He cannot afford to go out. So maybe I think he's just overtaken Bjorn Dunkerbeck. Let's wait and see. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at this third jibe mark. Ben van der Steen looking such in control at the front of this fleet. So Ben van der Steen rounding first with quite a nice lead. Bernd Flessner looking very solid, I think still in second place. So Bernd Flessner on his way into the semi-finals. Then we have third place, Cyril Musulmani. Oh, Dunkerbeck's out of it at the moment. Yeah, Julian Kentel is up into fourth place. Bjorn Dunkerbeck has dropped to fifth. And then there's a big sort of pile up at the mark where they're just concerteering up and they're not getting out of it. So at the moment, Bjorn Dunkerbeck is again out at the quarterfinal stage. You wouldn't have put this on here. Bernd Flessner not causing an upset, but looking at his results so far, this is going to be a good result for Bernd Flessner. This is what he wants to do in front of us, almost a home crowd here in Silt. And like I said, he is retiring at this event, so he'll want to really show the German boys how it's done. Maybe get a few cheers when he comes back to the beach. But it's Ben van der Steen rounding first. Second place, Bernd Flessner, last jibe mark. Good jibe from him, but he's not planing out of it. He's having to pump a little bit. Cyril Musulmani has just come round and he's had a lot better jibe. And here comes Julian Kentel with Bjorn Dunkerbeck just behind them. It's a very close heat. But it does look to me that Bjorn Dunkerbeck will not be going into the semi-finals. So an absolutely shocking event for Bjorn Dunkerbeck. He's making a run for it. He's trying to go down low. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think he's got enough on this last reach. But it is Bjorn Dunkerbeck. We know he's fast. He's trying to challenge. There he goes. He's off right down to that pin end on the finish buoy. We'll have to wait and see if it's enough. They are flying down this last reach, but it's Ben van der Steen that crosses the line in first place. Bernd Flessner will definitely go into the next round in second place. A good result for Bernd. And then there's that real fight for the third and fourth. It's between Cyril Musulmani, Bjorn Dunkerbeck and Julian Kentel. I tell you what, Bjorn Dunkerbeck Didn't half give Julian Cantell a run for his money there. We'll have to wait for the results to come through, but I tell you what, that was super close between Bjorn Dunkerbeck and Julian Cantell. Julian Cantell sitting in second place for the overall. Only by ahead of him is Josh Angulo. He's gone out of the first round, so he will go ahead of him. But if he didn't make that semi-final, he will probably be losing out to Antoine Albo. So the results will all be spinning around. We're going straight up into the next quarter-final. And there's a general recall. 2013 competition. Obviously here for the GP Joule Windsurfing World Cup here in Silt. That is what we're doing here, and it is a Grand Slam event, but 5 seconds before the start. France 752, Cousin, and USA 34. We're here in Buzinis, so Buzinis and Cousin. So Buzinis may be turning it on as we get into this Silt competition at the moment. Buzinis sitting in 8th place, Cousin sitting in 9th place. They know they need to put in good results. They know they need to start making finals. They're in the semi-finals, guaranteed a top 16 position, but they need to make it into that top 8 really to make a big difference. So expect to see Buzinis up there. Albo should be up there. Allen, where are they? They come around the first mark. Impossible for me to even guess. I'm guessing it's Buzinis. We can see Steve Allen's in there. We can see the loft sail of Cousin. Antoine Albo leading. Musulmani we're hearing, but he's not in this. Oh, so they're useless. They're worse than me. Well, anyway, we've got... I think Williams is doing all right on one of the Gastras. We had Antoine Albo that looks like he was leading it. Steve Allen, we're thinking is up there. So Albo and Allen, we're guessing, are right up there. Pretty impossible to see anything right now. So we'll just have to wait for them to come round this jibe mark. So round the second jibe mark. It's Albo rounding first. Second place, the gun maybe? Looks like him. We've got Steve Allen right up there. We've got the loft sail of Cousin. And then we've got maybe Ross Williams. Then also we've got Micah Buzinis. So we'll hopefully get Mark round at this next mark. But it is very tricky to actually see at the moment. This is the semi-finals, but the light is coming down here in Silt. Plenty of guys happy about that on the beach, but on the water it's making it very difficult with the reflection. But it's Antoine Albo who looks like he's comfortably going to make this final, barring a bit of a disaster. Maybe the gun's up there. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's Antoine Albo. And then I think we've got the gun in second. We've got Steve Allen in third. Then we've got Ross Williams up into fourth, just overtaking Cousin.
Ross Williams might be overtaking Steve Allen now, and Cousin has just been overtaken as well.
Okay, so there we go. Ross Williams really coming on strong in this semi-final. So Ross Williams making a charge from not the back of the fleet, but from definitely not the front. He's come back into this race. He's been picking off people the whole way round. But it's Antoine Albo that is leading it. He's going to go around the last jibe mark in first place. The gun, Le Guen, is looking very good in second place. So he's putting together a good Elimination 5. And it was about time we saw some speed from the gun. So Albo round in first. The gun in second. Ross Williams in third place, all the way up to third. Then we've got Steve Allen in fourth. At the moment, Cousin is missing out. So he really needs to get into that fourth position. He needs to get into the next round. He's sitting in ninth place overall at the moment. And he won't be happy about missing out on a final. A final will guarantee himself a top 8 and will probably keep him inside that top 10 overall. But Ross Williams really needed a good result here. He's not had his best competition. In fact, I actually spoke to him last night. He was saying it's probably his worst competition result to date. So not having the best of it. And I think that shows on the picture. I think I tweeted a bit ago. Frustrations maybe getting to him a bit. But it's going to be Antoine Albo that makes another final. So he has not got any problems here. He's just banging out the results in the final. So Albo in first, Le Guen we think in second. Then we've got, well, say no, it wasn't Le Guen. It was that Cousin who come all the way back then? I tell you what, we'll have to wait for the results. Ross Williams was up there. Cousin maybe got right back in it, and the gun dropped right back. I don't know if I'm seeing things here. We'll wait for the results. They'll come over the radio soon enough, but he couldn't have dropped back so much unless it was just a very bad jibe. We'll have to wait and see. It does look that way, though. Doesn't look a good result. Cousin going to the boat to find out if he got through, and we're going to go straight in to the second semi-final. What the hell is going on there? I don't know with the light, but it's pretty tricky. We've got Van der Steen, Flessner, Cyril Musulmani, Kentel, Menengati, Kestel, Diaz and Mortafon. We've got them. Whether they're lining up for the start, it doesn't look like it. It looked to be going the other way. So maybe they'd give these boys a bit of time.
Inside spin, that's a really, really tight finish. And Cousin just didn't qualify, just.
So we're hearing Cousin didn't just qualify. Who did? Yeah. So Cousin just missing out, we're hearing, but like super close. Took it to the wire. We're still waiting for results of that, but it did look like Cousin didn't make it. Oh, yeah. Whew, well, it's been a long day here in the live booth, and it looks like we've got a little bit of time. I'm not sure of the signals at the moment, but it does look like we've got a bit of time. Well, we're still waiting for those results to come through, but okay, we're into the last minute before this men's semi-final. I'm going to sleep well tonight, that's for sure. And those beers are going to taste good. There better be some left for me when I get to that bar. That's all I'm going to say. But this is semi-final number 2, Elimination 5. This is a big one. Van der Steen, Flessner, Cyril Musulmani, Julian Kentel, Menengati, Kestel, Diaz, Mortafon. You've got to look at Menengati and Kentel. Both of these guys sitting in the top 4 overall at the moment. Can't afford to mess up. Cyril Musulmani in 5th. So we've got, what, 2nd, 4th and 5th in this semi-final. These guys really do need to make it through. Here we go, lining them up. Tell you what, Bernd Flessner's only gone and pinged the start again. So Germany 1-6 was on the gun. Expect to see him up there at the first mark, but he has got a lot of tough competition here. But just looking at the fleet, you can see Bernd Flessner in the middle of the pack and plenty of clean air. It looks like he's got Julian Kestel above him, Anton Kestel, sorry. But it is Bernd Flessner, he's quite clear ahead. Looks like maybe Menengati is ahead of him though. So I think Menengati goes round in first. Second place will be Kestel. Then Bernd Flessner on the inside. Nice inside giant from Bernd. Round the outside, maybe Cyril Musulmani. Menengati, Kestel, Musulmani, as we said, and then maybe Bernd Flessner, yeah. And Mortafon just behind him. And Kentel out of it again, so he always leaves it late. Julian Kentel seems to fight his way back, never gets the good first mark round him, but just fights his way back with just superb racing. So at the moment, Bernd Flessner sitting in a qualifying position, Cyril Musulmani sitting in a qualifying position, Anton Kestel sitting in a qualifying position, and Menengati leading it. So Menengati round in first. Second place, Kestel. Bernd Flessner's still in it, but it's super close. He's just jibed. He was in 4th place. As I did say that, I was just trying to hear the results coming through the radio of the other semi-final, and I couldn't quite pick them up. What is going on here? Boys, what's going on? Whoa, 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 what's going on? What's going on? We're... Okay, we just lost. I'm not sure what's happened there. There we go, we're back with the racing. Sorry, I think someone's off on a bit of a jolly there. So we go back to the racing. Let's see how it's standing. It still looks like Menengati out in the lead. It is Menengati. So Menengati round in first place. Second place, Anton Kestel. So Kestel looking good for a final place. Cyril Musulmani in third. Where's Bernd Flessner? It is Bernd Flessner, I think, in fourth place. I'm just hearing. Oh. So it is Bernd. So Van der Steen in fifth and Julian Kentel behind. So Bernd Flessner has got two of the best races from the last sort of couple of years in the PWA fleet, always knocking in top 5 results. Julian Kentel been top 3 for the last 2, right behind him, breathing down his neck to try and make this final. But Bernd Flessner, in his last year here in Silt, retiring here, he ain't going to give this up without a fight. And he's sitting in a perfect qualifying position in fourth place. Like I said, he's got Ben van der Steen and Julian Kentel right behind him. So we come into this last jibe mark. It's Bernd Flessner in fourth place. This is where it's going to happen, this fourth place. A good jibe, good solid jibe from Bernd Flessner. Good jibe from Ben van der Steen, but actually maybe not getting away as well. So Bernd Flessner, a good jibe. At the front of the feet, Menengati's got this sewn up. Anton Kestel looking comfortable. Third place is Cyril Musulmani. And then fourth place, still Bernd Flessner. Ben van der Steen's gone low though. Ben van der Steen on the blue sail on the right-hand side of your picture is gone to try and find that pin end. It's not been paying off so far, but he's going to try and sail underneath Bernd Flessner. Bernd Flessner's got a lot of dirty water to sail through. He's trying to sail in the wake of Cyril Musulmani. So is it going to be enough? Can Ben van der Steen sail underneath Bernd Flessner? He looks to have plenty of speed. We're not going to know from this angle. We're going to have to call it. It looks to me like it's Bernd Flessner that qualifies in fourth place. Julian Kentel misses out, and I think Ben van der Steen misses out. But we'll try and find out over the radio how that sounded. But Julian Kentel will not be in the final. This could be Antoine Albo leading this competition because he is already in the final. Can I have a confirmation? Who got that? Did Bernd Flessner get it?
Yeah, Bernd Flessner.
Okay, so Bernd Flessner is in the final. Good last racing. Okay, so Ben van der Steen and Julian Kentel did not make it. Are we going to see Antoine Albo leading this Silt World Cup after Elimination 5? I think we might do. He's already in the final. He's in there with Alan. We might see Alan move up. He's looking good. Pretty consistent at the moment, Alan. 5, 7, 6, and whatever he gets in this final. Still got a discard of a 52, so he can't mess up. And it does look like the wind has picked up. Or maybe it's swung round a little bit, a bit more cross-shore. So they might have to move the boys. Gold. So the first mistake we're seeing from Julian Kentel, he will probably be counting his 6th place after this. So Julian Kentel could well end up still leading, depending on the results of Antoine Albo in this final. If Antoine Albo, let's have a quick add up of the scores, 6, 8, 10, 14 obviously. Antoine Albo might have 9, 5th. Yeah, Antoine Albo needs to be 5th or worse and Julian Kentel will still be leading this competition, or will be leading this competition. So Albo needs a top 5 result and he will be leading the GP Joule Windsurfing World Cup here in Silt on day number 8. I think it's 8. We started on last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, day number 8. It's been a long old week, but the results are coming in. We're going to have to obviously wait a little bit because the boys in the losers final have just finished that heat. So we have to wait for Julian Kentel to get up there. We have to wait for Ben van der Steen to get up there. And that's what we are doing at the moment. Hit me up on Twitter. What's going on? A lot of support for Bernie Flessner online. We got Oliver saying, yeah, Bernd Fless, way to go. So that's what we like to see. And we got Carlos saying, so is there going to be a wave competition? Well, Carlos, we need some waves for a wave competition. There are a few knee-high sets rolling in at the moment, but nothing of any note. So that's pretty much how we're standing. We're still waiting for this men's losers final. And I did ask earlier, I made a thing of asking, just look, Tom Molina, coming up to the window. Maybe we'll get a quick chat with Tom Lane and we'll turn his mic up and ask him about how his heat went. Looked quite an easy one. Tommy, we're going to give you a mic. What happened? Probably the funniest heat of the day, not for Josh Angulo, obviously, but 7 guys over in your your first round heat. You were the only guy to not go over the start line.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it however you want,
Well,
luck or
well, you don't have to call it
whatever.
luck. You were tactical.
But the thing is that I was starting from the boat, so I could see easily all of us.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was watching my watches, I was like, dude, we just go so early.
Yeah.
Because it was like 5 seconds to go and we were already on the starting line. Then I've seen Jordy blasting over the starting line, so I was like, okay, so now it's over early, so
Yeah.
I just stopped.
Yeah.
And
He was miles over.
Yeah, and everybody just went, and I just stopped, and that's why. If I wouldn't see him,
Yeah.
most probably I would go with them.
Yeah, because
But that's
you
for
knew
sure.
he was over. It was guaranteed.
Yeah, because I just wanted to go all in, so. Because I've seen him, I just stopped because there was no sense to go
Yeah.
over the starting line. So it saved me, actually.
Yeah.
I already saw him, so I told him thank you because you saved the heat.
Well, you know, what about Josh Angulo? What was he saying? I mean, I would have thought he would have been hanging back a bit, but it was a tough heat.
It was a pretty tough heat because we were like all 7 guys, and it's not easy in those kind of
No.
conditions to
You have
advance.
to get a good start, pretty
So
much.
the start is like is the key to advance. So you have to nail the start actually. If you are a little bit late, it's over.
Yeah. Well, we
So
saw Julian Quintel not able to fight back in that last one. You know,
Yeah.
usually we've seen him fight back through the fleet. He didn't do it in that one.
No, you cannot. Actually, you cannot fight back. Not much. It's short and it's pretty tough. So that's why everybody has to go quite on the edge.
Yeah. Well, it's quite funny. Bernd Flester making the final. They've got these guys in here filming me. And Bernd Flester suddenly decides to make the final. Maybe you boys should come in here more often. He's absolutely flying out there. So, I mean, not an upset. Obviously, Bernd Flester's a very good racer, and you were used to seeing it.
That's for sure.
But he's causing a few upsets today. A few people probably not happy with him turning on the speed.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of every day or every 2 days we have kind of different conditions, and you can see that, like. Everybody is quite fast or good in a different kind of conditions.
Yeah.
Somebody likes the completely offshore, somebody likes onshore.
Yeah.
You can see like the people on top are
This
changing.
has got a bit more cross-shore, is it? A
Yeah,
little bit more,
it
so a
is.
little bit more typical silt?
This is not a typical
No,
silk.
not typical,
No.
but a bit more like silt we're used to seeing.
Yeah, now it's a little bit more like silk with the quite tough chop outside because there is a swell coming in with the chop from the wind, and it's kind of messy with the big board. Like I was in the second round on the biggest gear and I was barely holding on it sometimes.
It looks windy.
Yeah, it was really much more windier than at the beginning. But but it's tough anyway. I mean, whatever kind of conditions we get, it's not easy.
Yeah, the gun going pretty good today, Damien.
Yeah. I mean, good for him because he had quite tough season with a
He's
lot
had a
of
couple of PMS.
over-earlies.
Yeah, a lot of PMSs. I was
Yeah.
expecting every round he had today. I was expecting
He's like
to see him over.
he's like the over-early winner for this season. So I'm quite lucky for him that he advanced at least last couple races this season, because for him for sure the season was not
It's
the
good to
best
prove
one.
to yourself that you've got some speed,
Yeah,
because we
that's
know
for
he's
sure.
got speed. I remember seeing him in Turkey last year. He was absolutely flying, you know, and this year maybe not gone as well for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this year is more or less about the starts and the first region, about your skill on the starts. And if you just don't have a luck, or you are a couple of times over it, then your mind is getting like.
And then your ranking slips back,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
yeah.
heats get harder.
And
it's like a double whammy.
Exactly, and then you go, if you are not really sure about your starts, then you go kind of confused what you have to do. If you go all in, or you have to stay, or what. So then your starts is just like big mess, and it's not easy. It's not easy. This season is kind of not weird, but it's different than the previous ones.
Okay, well, we got the losers final coming up. We've got Kusin, he's sitting in like 9th place overall. We've got Buzainis, he's sitting in 8th place overall. We've got Cordell, who's about 20th or something like that, 23rd. We've got Cornum, who's been getting better, actually, just through this competition. He's got better. We've got Julian Cantel, who actually could be leading the competition after Elimination 5, depending on Albo's result in the final.
Is Benny advanced?
Ben van der Steen
Yeah.
in the losers final.
Ah, so he's not in final.
He's not having a good competition at the moment.
No.
It's not really going his way. We've got Tosselli and we've got Pierre Mortefont again. Not really going his way at this competition. But very good guys in this losers final. Who do you expect to win it?
Oh, I can say
Ben van der
Benny,
Steen, Cantel,
Benny
it could be any of these guys.
Micah,
Buzainis.
for sure. It's a tough.
Tough one. Losers final is always going to be tough. Who do you think is going to get top 3 in this? Anyone want to call it from home? Going to be interesting. Final, Alberto can still win overall if he wins and Albert is 5th or worse. No, that's not correct. The same Cyril wins, Albo is 6th. No, I'm not sure that's correct, boys and girls. Oh, you mean lead the overall competition, maybe? I don't know, but so I'm just looking at a few things on Twitter. But let's get back to this, and we'll work out some figures straight after this losers final. So losers final coming up: Cousin, Buzainis, Cordell, Cornum, Cantel, Van der Steen, Tosselli, Mortefont. Oh, he looks early. Looked early.
Yeah.
Cousin.
Yeah, he just. That's what I'm talking about. He had to go on the edge, so it's like.
So Cousin will get himself a 16th place there for that losers final. So 16th place for Cousin, and he won't be in the restart. So let's do some maths here. I'm just going to do a quick add up of a few overall scores.
You know, sometimes it's funny when you are over early and then you go to the boat and you find out that you were over early, and asking him after the racing on the beach, ask him to the director on the boat, like, I haven't been over early, not possible, and he's telling you like, yeah, you were like half a second.
Yeah.
And you are like, come on, how you can let's say half a second over early, but it's tough job for them. Like I wouldn't do it. I won't be on the board because
We talked about this the other day. What do you think of having some sort of laser thing on the nose of your board and a line from the buoy? It must be possible.
I think it's complicated. I mean,
Why is it complicated?
If we would have a video, like a proper video on a starting board,
But what's wrong with the laser thing? I mean, it happens everywhere in every sport. You have this, you know, like cycling. You go past a beam and it starts your race.
Sure, that somebody has to pay for it.
But I bet it's not that much. The reader of the chip, yeah, but the chips, they said someone does it for the Cape Argus thing, it's like $10 a chip.
If it's like this, I mean, why not?
I think it sounds
I
very
mean,
reasonable.
because
I don't
there,
know.
you know, like there've been always, and it will be always a lot of arguing about who was over.
But it makes sense. In this day and age, you'd think there would be a way
Yeah.
of telling if one was further than the other. And, you know, even if it's halfway down the first reach and they have to tell them at the first mark.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking about it now, you are right. Maybe the laser thing would be the best solution, because even with the video, it would be much more complicated.
Well, it moves.
Because
The same
I
with
mean,
laser, though. That's the
yeah,
problem.
I mean, everybody would be complaining, or everybody should have the right to see if he was
Yeah.
over Ilenet. So then we wouldn't be racing,
That's
just
the
watching the
problem.
videos all the time.
And then there might be a cut,
Yeah.
and then it would be
and everybody
terrible.
complaining, you know, and too complicated. Okay, now you are upset because you are over early, but the next race you have to keep your mind focused, so it's over.
Okay, so just doing some quick sums here. I think maybe BJ, that's what he's saying, not for the overall, but he's on about the overall here in Silt. I think what we're trying to say is Menengatti, if he wins this next one, he would have 2 firsts, which would be 1.4, 6.4, 13.4. So 13.4 if Menengatti were to win it. Let's have a look at this. Let's do some maths here. Albo has got 3/3, which is 9 plus what he gets in this final. Cantel has 14 points. So yeah, Menengatti would be ahead of Julian Cantel. Cyril Musulmani has a 5th, a first. So if he had another first, it would be 1.4, which is 6.4, which is 14.4. So I think that's correct. 13, 15, 13, yeah, 14.4. So basically, Albo needs a 5th If he gets a 5th in the final, he'll be level pegging with Julian Cantell. So I think he needs a 4th to win, to be leading this GP Joule Windsurfing World Cup here in Sylt for the slalom, obviously. If he's 6th, he will be 15 points. He will actually, depending on where the other results are. So we'll have to keep a eye on this. If Menegatti wins it, he could well be, well, he will be leading the event here in Sylt if he wins it.
Yeah,
going to be
possible.
interesting. Let's keep an eye on this. Obviously, that's the winners' final coming up, but this is going to be the losers' final. Cussin was in it. He's out now. PMS. So we've got Buzainis, Cordell, Cornham, Kental, Van der Steen, Tosselli, and Mortafon. Wind looks like it's really shifted cross-shore. I think that's going to make it harder for the start.
Yeah, I mean, the starting line was too narrow before. Now it looks a little bit more wider, but it's going to be tough.
I reckon these boys look like they're a little bit early. I could be wrong. We'll wait and see as they come down to the line. They're all bearing off.
Oh.
Well, maybe not.
Good start. Denmark 24. Denmark 24.
So Cornham, Sebastian Cornham on the best start of the bunch, so he should be somewhere on the pride, so I'm guessing he's up the starboard end, but you'd expect maybe the leaders to come out the pin end. We know Menegatti is quick. He's in the middle of the pack on that black sail, so that is Menegatti. No, that's not Menegatti, this is the losers' final.
Yeah,
this
Pascal.
is Pascal Tosselli.
Yeah,
so Tosselli in the middle. We've got Micah Buzainis down the bottom side. We've got Mortafon just upwind of him. It's going to be Mortafon. Looks good. Yeah, Mortafon round in first. Tosselli in second place. Then we've got Ben van der Steen neck and neck with Micah Buzainis. Then we've got Sebastian Cornham. Then we've got Julian Cantell. And then we've got Sebastian Cordell. It looks like Tosselli has absolutely come flying out of that jibe mark. So, like I said, Julian Cantell really making himself hard work. He never seems to go round the mark that well. So it's Tosselli out in the lead. Pascal Tosselli absolutely flying down this second reach.
Looks like there was a hole on the jibing, like a wind hole.
Well, it's Mortafon in second place. We've got Micah Buzainis just behind him. Is Sebastian Cordell maybe gone really low? We're not sure if it's
No, it's
Sebastian.
Benny. I think it's Benny van der